Yo, this your boy EC22 of the FairWeather Fan podcast. And once again, it is Tuesday, a little bit after 6 o'clock, but that's all right, man. We're in for another live podcast. This is the FairWeather Fan channel, man. Before we go any further, please like, subscribe, share, leave comments, join the conversation. I'm your boy EC22, and always, man, we got my boy, my brother from another mother, D-Way. What's up, my boy? What's up,
man? Super excited about the show. Thanks again for having me, and got a lot to get to, so I'm ready when you are, brother.
Man, you know what? Since you say that, let's dive right on into it, man. I just want to throw a quick say congratulations to the U.S. Opens tennis was final this weekend, man. And we had a couple Americans get in it, but they didn't quite pull it through for us. But a Jannik Sinner of Italy beats the American Taylor Fritz. I actually thought Taylor was going to finally get one. We haven't had American men win since Andy Roddick way back in 2003. I mean, that is crazy. But I was hoping he'd get it, but he didn't pull it out, and I was rooting for him. But, I mean, it was a good match. Well, he won it in 3 straight sets, so I ain't going to say it was a good match, but Sinner did his thing, though, so I'm not even mad at him, though, man. Great win for him. And on the women's side, once again, we had another American, Jessica Pegula falls to the Belarusian Ariana, what's her name? Sabalenka. I can't say her name. Sabalenka. That's how you say her name. Yeah. So I kind of figured that was going to happen. You know, she went out last year to Coco Golf, and so this is her way to get back to the thing and win it. So congratulations to Ariana for doing her thing, man. What do you think about the whole U.S. Open? There was any things you like, dislike, or whatever? Or did you get a chance to watch any matches?
Yes, I thought it was cool. First of all, props to Sinner. He's the first Italian to ever win the U.S. Open championship, so that's kind of cool. There's a little history made there. And then Sabalenka, I mean, she's the hoss right now on the women's side, and she reminds me of. I'm not saying she's in this category, but she kind of gives me a little bit of Steffi Graf vibe, I was a big Steffi fan, so we'll kind of see from here where she goes, but I'm excited about for both the men and the women. So yeah, good call on that, EC.
Yes, sir. Coco Golf, she lost. I think that the 4th round or whatever she lost, and it was. I knew she was gonna get into this game. I think with Coco Golf, I think the pressure of trying to be the second coming of Serena Williams, I think this is too much pressure for her. I don't think this is her type of game. She's a phenomenal tennis player, but trying to put her in that elite category just right now, it's too early in her career. She needs to get it the way everybody else get it. You win some, you lose some. You just keep winning, but the pressure was really riding her in the game. She wasn't in her head. I mean, she wasn't in the game. She was in the head, and she fell down. So it is what it is. I want to throw a quick mention out to, we got Eagle Bruce that's in behind in the big green screen that's listen to the conversation. We also got Duke, and we also got Felix there in the background listening to us live. So if you guys got some comments, man, you can throw them in the private chat. And so if we need some expert opinions from you guys, we'll definitely plug you in, man. But thank you guys for joining the show.
Yeah, EC, just real quick. Eagle Bruce, man, he's coming at us all the way from the city of brotherly love, man, Philly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then Duke, I know Duke is working up in Gary, Indiana, but not only is Felix on, but also want to shout out to my nephew up in Clear Falls, Montana, who also might be on listening as well. So, man, you guys join in, chat in, type it in, whatever you think. So we appreciate y'all joining us, though.
Yes, sir. Listen, baseball. What you got for me? Brother?
It's getting nuts. Speaking of the city of brotherly love, and I mean, I got to give a shout out to my Phillies, man. They're rolling. I mean, to me.
Wait. Are you telling me that you're a Phillies fan?
I'm a Phillies fan. I'm a hardcore Phillies fan. You don't want to get me started on that. I'll preach on that. I'm a big time Phillies guy. So,
Bruce said, "Go Phillies." He was at the game last night.
Oh yeah,
that's what he said. Yeah,
sweet. I'm excited about them. I mean, the Dodgers. Obviously, they're going to be in the conversation on the National League side. American League side. and I don't want to get Duke started about on the Yankees because he's a Yankee hater. So I don't know if he can hear, if he can jump on or whatever. But Yankees, Baltimore, I mean Cleveland, on the American side. What do you think, EC?
Oh man, listen. Let me say it this way. I got to be honest with you. I haven't really been watching.
Fair enough, then.
I
But
haven't.
it's winding down, man. We get into toward the end of the September. I always know playoff baseball's when the weather starts getting a little bit crisp and we start to feel the fall season coming upon us. That's when I get excited about Major League Baseball playoffs. So obviously we'll have more to talk about as we get a little closer to the playoffs. But
yeah.
But for now, man, I'm loving on my Phillies. So don't make me pull out my Steve Carlton jersey, because I will, man. old school lefty for one of the greatest all time. So
hey, real quick, let me see, can I get Duke, what's happening, man? Welcome to the show, man. Can you hear me?
Duke, can you hear us?
He's still trying to work out some particulars. Let me know, Duke, in the comment once you get ready. Yeah, he just came in, but I want to get his opinion on some of this stuff. Let me Bruce is eating right now, so we're not going to bother him right now, but he's been leaving comments. He said, Bruce said, don't hate on Eagle. Bruce said, don't hate on the Yankees. But who do you think that look the best right now in the MLB? Like, who do you think right now is standing out for you?
Well, I mean, for me, and I'm not just saying this because, I'm a big fan. I've been following the two teams I follow religiously, obviously, are the Texas Rangers, who are my favorite team. And that was a tough season, and the Philadelphia Phillies. And until somebody proves me wrong, the Phillies look unbeatable with that pitching staff.
Hey, we got a special guest. I got to bring this man on real quick, man. Preacher, what's up, Preacher?
Woo! Listen here. Y'all talking about Philly. So somebody say praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord, brother.
Yeah.
I want you to know that Philly gonna be disappointed. I'm a 49ers fan. My 49ers is gonna do this thing this year. Ain't gonna be no drawbacks. Ain't gonna be no slip-ups. And BK sent me this. I said, let me see what they talking about. But I know they ain't talking about my 49ers.
Well, hey, we're gonna get there here in a minute. We're fixing to get all over that. So.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get on a minute, man. But just welcome to the show, Reb. I appreciate you, man. Just hang tight in the background, man. We'll bring you in later on. All right.
No, I'm actually driving. I'm finna go to Louisiana, man. So
hey, man,
look.
safe travels, brother.
Yes, sir. Now, what's your name again, sir? Because I remember you were are you the boxer?
No. Well, we did I did the Bible study with you guys last week on Elroy. Yeah.
But you came on before though, didn't you?
I just come on and just as a regular Bible study member. Yeah, that's all. Just come in and out.
Okay,
yeah.
But what's your name though?
Eric.
Yeah,
Eric, you can call me EC22 of the FairWeather Fan channel, man. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
But hey,
I'm actually driving, man. I just passed through. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, it's all good, Reb, man. We really appreciate you for joining, man. But hey, just let us know if you want to get on, man.
Okay, man.
Right.
God bless you,
brother.
man.
God bless you, brother.
All right.
Yes, sir.
All right.
That's awesome.
All right. So you say you like the Phillies. Is that? I mean, I know you say you're not an emotional picker, but I'm going to say you are an emotional picker of the Phillies. But I'm not going to mess with you. I don't know.
Baltimore on the American League side, since they've been really consistent, really solid. I think Baltimore feels like they have some unfinished business. They let the Rangers. They took the Rangers lightly last year in the playoffs, and everybody knows how that turned out. So I think Baltimore kind of has some unfinished business. So I mean that's where we are, but it's almost playoff baseball time, which is some of my favorite time of the year. So,
Hey, so yeah, well, I've been watching it, but because of the Rangers situation, I didn't get a chance to really get on there. Like we lost my boy for a second there. That's okay.
Hang on a minute, I'll get back on with you.
That's all right. Take your time. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and take over until you get in real quick. So moving on till we get my boy back. Going on to in the NCAA football. Listen. The NCAA football, man. He's back right now. Oh, we get him back. Let me get him back. You good?
Yeah, I'm good. Sorry, man.
All right, then now you're good. Say, listen. So, NCAA football. What are your takeaways from what you saw this past weekend? I see you got your Aggies on, obviously.
Well,
but
for starters, I may have to stand up and take my hat off.
Please do.
I'm gonna give all the love, all the props, all the accolades to those boys down in Austin. They went into the big house and they took care of business. And Matthew McConaughey and company, I'm gonna tell you something. That bunch down in Austin is going to be a serious contender for this deal before it's all said and done.
Now, with that being said, is this the Texas team that you think can win the whole college playoffs?
1,000%.
Okay. That's been going around, and I just want to make sure that somebody else agrees with me on that, because I definitely do believe so. I was kind of skeptical, I got to be honest, at the beginning of the season, but the way they took down Michigan. Now, everybody keep talking about Michigan lost a lot of players and all this stuff like that, but so have every team. Every team loses players to the draft, so there's no different than any other team being out there. But the way they stepped up, and then the fact that you do have Archie Manning out there that's willing to step up and do his thing, and but Quinn Ewers, man, this kid is off the chain, man. I love his game, so yeah.
And I got to tell you something, and it doesn't matter. Because a school the size of Michigan, they're like all those big schools. They just reload every year,
Exactly.
I don't care who you are. If you go in to the big house up there in Ann Arbor, and you embarrass Michigan like Texas did, and Texas, I think on a scale of 1 to 10, if 10's been awesome, I think they were only at about a 7. Saturday afternoon. I mean, I can't wait to see this team when they really popping, up there in the 9.5 range. I do. I mean, Georgia's got something to say about that, and the boys in Columbus, Ohio, we're going to have something.
Yeah. I know you like those Ohio State.
I don't know that I like them, but my people are saying that this is one of their better teams. One of the best teams that money can buy. Oops, did I say that? Yes.
Oh, snap. Well, it's finally legal now in college football.
Yeah.
But check this out, D-Way. Now, I heard someone say this, and I'm really inclined to believe them on this one. They said the reason why Michigan have not got the players that they think they should have right now because of Harbaugh. They said a lot of kids was going to Michigan because of Harbaugh, and now that Harbaugh is over with the Chargers, they're kind of in a situation where they're going to try to wait to see what the new coaching staff look like before they decide to jump in, because with the transfer portal and everything. Now, it's an excuse nonetheless, but do you thumbs up or thumbs down that particular perspective?
I say thumbs down. As many people as liked Harbaugh, there's also that many people that don't like Harbaugh that played for him. So,
Yeah.
And so, that's a thumbs down for me. Bottom line is, if Jim Harbaugh would have been there, Texas still wins that game. I mean, they're that good.
Yeah. Fact.
And I think you agree with me. The other thing is we got to remember is you and I were kind of really not giving Tennessee a lot of props and a lot of love last week. And Tennessee took care of business. I'm trying to look down there on the screen. Can't remember the exact score, but Tennessee took care of business. They played. Who did they play here? It'll come up in a minute. I guess I can look on my phone. If only somebody had a smartphone.
Yeah, I got one.
Yeah. That's what my wife always says. But yeah, this NCAA football thing, it is going to be some kind of fun. Moving forward. I just, oh gosh, I just loved it. I mean, I'm not going to give my Aggies any love. They beat a soft McNeese, state team. So that I don't have anything to say there. But Texas, Georgia. Yeah. Did I see? Did Oklahoma get beat? Clemson.
No. Oklahoma.
Clemson bounced back and had a good win.
Yeah, Oklahoma barely beat Houston, which was a shocker. And we're going to talk about that one on the top of the hour with Faith Talk Sports Radio when we get over with Coach and Lewis. Okay. But Tennessee ended up beating NC State 51-10. So they did their thing on that one.
And we talked a little bit about this last week. USC, still rolling. Lincoln Riley.
Yeah, they doing their thing. We're not mad at USC. They beat Utah State 8-0. So Notre Dame. Now Notre Dame. I don't know why, but for whatever reason, people seem to like this team. And I have been a hater of Notre Dame since I was knee high to a grasshopper, and I'm a very, very large man. So that was a very, very, very long time ago. I've been hating on Notre Dame for whatever reason. I don't know if they're helmets, whatever, but because of the way the new 12-team college football playoffs has been started right now, obviously the first four have to be conference championships. With Notre Dame not being in the conference, the idea was that they were going to come and get a first round, get onto one of those teams, at least the second round. The first round, because the top four get the first round bye. But their chances of actually winning, at some point, people was thinking there'd be a favorite to win. Now, they lost. And so now, what do you think? Are they still favorite to win or go further in the or will they make the college football playoffs? What do you think about Notre Dame?
I'd like to hear from everybody else too, but I think they shot themselves in the foot. If you're trying to earn some credibility, if you're trying to get national recognition, if you're trying to say, didn't they beat Baylor though?
Yeah, they beat Baylor last week, I believe. No.
Yeah.
Who they? Bruce said that he said Notre Dame will not make the playoff. He said Bruce said that they are done.
I agree. I agree, Eagle Bruce. I totally agree with that. And let's face it, Notre Dame's overrated, ranked every year. In fact, I'll go as far as to say Notre Dame's overranked every year, as well as my Aggies from Texas A&M. They're overranked every year. So I just the Notre Dame. I mean, they're not going to be. They're not even going to be in the conversation in another 3 or 4 weeks.
They lost they were number 5. They lost to an unranked team in Northern Illinois, and that is crazy. That is crazy. We got J-Dub join us, man. On us real quick, coming in live. Let me bring J-Dub and see what he got to say about it, man. J-Dub, what's going on, brother? How you feeling, man?
What's up?
What's happening, man? I'm feeling good.
That's my boy from Clear Falls, Montana, right there. Eric.
What's happening, Jay? What's going on, J-Dub?
So, what's the topic at the moment?
We're talking about Notre Dame and see if they. What do you think? None of us believe they're going to make the college football playoffs right now. So, what do you think?
So, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm very ill-formed right now. Haven't seen anything on Notre Dame, but I'm a traditional. I root against Notre Dame just because I don't like how they got a rule that gets them into tournaments that nobody else has. So I'm like, they can cheat their way in.
Exactly.
I love that. Don't you, EC?
I love it. Yeah.
So typically I'm not going to root for Notre Dame. I mean, it's interesting to see a school that has its own rules, but it's not for me. It's not for me.
So this we're going to back up because you're on, and I know you're kind of into this, and we were talking about the boys in Austin, University of Texas Longhorns, and are they the real deal going into the big house and beating up on Michigan? So I'm going to shut up and let you comment on that.
Well, as you know, the only Big Ten school that'll ever get any credit from me will be Michigan. I think the Big Ten for years has been overrated, at least since the 90s, early 2000s.
Woo!
But,
Eagle Bruce is going to have something to say to that. Go ahead, J.
That's cool, and that's cool. It's just different. Southern boys are different. The Big Ten's different. But I think I'm still not sure how this two-quarterback system is going to work. I don't know who the man is. I don't know who – like why one gets to play over the other one sometime. But anyway, so that's still I think that's one of the more interesting topics of the season, though, for sure, whether you're from Texas or not. I think the Longhorns are very unique this year. So it's to be seen.
We were talking about the short list right now, of course, is not in any order, is Georgia, Ohio State, University of Texas, and I guess we can throw USC in there just for right this second. I don't have to. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I love where college football is right now. EC.
Yeah.
I love where there's no clear-cut front runner that's dominating.
Yeah.
And like always, the cream will rise to the top, in all due time. So, but what you got for us next?
Bruce is saying Rome do not like OSU or Michigan, but they are always there. Go PSU.
Oh yeah, he's a as I am. He's a big Penn State guy.
I'm a Penn State guy too, just because of Grandpa, right? Because of family ties. But you know what it is.
So Clemson. Now I know they already lost one game. Can they reclaim the ACC?
That's still to be seen too. That's a good question, but I don't see how their little moment in the sunshine was bright, but I think it's fading away.
So the question: if not Penn State, then who do you think is a better fit to come out of the ACC?
You mean Clemson? You mean?
Clemson. Who's the better to come out of ACC? If it's not Clemson,
man. Because Miami's hasn't done anything, and Florida State, we know what they did, or what I should say didn't do. And I'm going to say this: I'm not going to bet against Dabo Swinney. I'm not betting against him. So, because that conference seems to be, quote unquote, I want to hear what JW says, a little bit down football wise this year. It could be anybody. Isn't Georgia Tech in that deal too? I think they are, aren't they, JW?
Yeah.
So
Georgia Tech in there. Yeah.
Because that conference doesn't seem to have any front running powerhouse. Hey, I'm staying with Dabo on this deal. So what do y'all think?
Honestly, I'm liking what I'm seeing out of Louisville. I know it's not saying a whole lot. They haven't really played too much right now, but I'm not 100% sure that Louisville and Miami and can get it done. Syracuse looking pretty good right now.
Forgot about Syracuse. Yeah,
but I'm more to believe that once they get down to their conference play, I think that Clemson, if they can get to the conference championship game, I think they should be able to win it in this division. I don't think there's anybody in the division that can, just right now they're playing behind right now. So hopefully these other players are welcome to Boston College. Boston College has gotten to the top 25, and right now they're at the top of the ACC, which not saying a whole lot, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I'm not going to dog on Boston College.
I am,
but if I have to talk, if I have to, I'm not going to put Boston College in the same conversation, same category as Louisville and Clemson. I'm not, So
yeah.
And so I'm gonna show my age for a minute. I was just going to check the schedule. I would hope for a resurgence of the U in the ACC, and I don't see Louisville and Miami should both be undefeated on October 19th when they play each other, and I think a lot's going to be said after that game.
Yeah.
Good point. Yeah, I like that.
So I didn't want to say something, but I thought they played each other in the mid part of the season. So that hopefully that's a big televised game on Saturday, But
now, JW, you gonna stay with us the whole time, or do you need a break real quick as we move on?
Brother, I'm good. If I ain't intruding, I ain't never been on camera. I'm a little nervous. My heart's beating kind of fast right now.
This is the way to get into it, because we're streaming live on Facebook and YouTube. So hey, welcome to the world, J-Dub.
Welcome to the world. Well, you shouldn't have told me.
EC. Yeah, I do want J-Dub to stay on for this next topic for sure.
Okay.
Because he's already had some good stuff to say about it. So I'll let you introduce it, and
here we go.
We'll move on.
We got to talk about these goddamn Buffaloes up there in Denver, well, Colorado, where they are, Denver. Colorado. Not Denver, but they're
talking about the Dion pack.
Yeah, we talking about the Dion prime time elite up there, what they got going on up there in Colorado. Well, somebody got to get started, because I definitely got a rant for them. They are who I thought they were. I love Dion, but at the end of the day, I do not believe Dion to be a coach. I love the care factor he brings to the kids. I love his compassion. I love the energy he brings, is trying to build the manhood out of these young men, and I appreciate all that. But I do not believe that superstar players make great coaches.
Oh no.
He done had Ed Reed to come over there to try to help the team out. Now he got Warren Sapp over there trying to help the team out. These guys see the game from a different level, and right now it's not working. I'm sorry.
I mean, really, there's really nothing to add to that. Dion's an incredible marketer. He's an incredible community relations, public relations guy. He also is one of the greatest athletes I've ever seen step on a field. But you're talking about coaching, a bunch of 19, 20, 21-year-old kids. And I'm with you, Eric. I mean, it doesn't work very often, And Colorado, let's face it, Colorado is, it's Colorado,
Yeah. This is what I don't think. J-Dub, you got something?
So, I think he can be successful. I'm still pulling for him. How many years does it take to change the recruiting for college? And I don't know the answer to that, and I don't think anybody does. So, but if he can't get players to come there instead of to the other big ones, then it doesn't matter how good of a coach he is or isn't. You got to have the talent to have the production. So
right.
I love Dion. I think he should be a hype man for somebody, if nothing else. But I think he could do it. He just has to get players. And how do you change the culture to get players to want to come to you instead of playing in the SEC? And I think that's the challenge for most schools. But again, the landscape seems to be changing a little bit, but that's a huge hurdle to cross. But y'all are right. Just because he's a good player doesn't make him a good coach. There's tons of those.
And guys, we can both sit. We won't right now because we don't have the time. But we could both sit here and put a list together of the top 10 colleges that the best high school players across the nation would want to play at. And Colorado's not going to be in that list. They're just not.
And it's linemen. It's always linemen. You got to get them to leave, down south where we grow them big. You got to get them to want to come to Colorado from Alabama.
And I had to get not to beat a dead horse, but I played golf with a guy yesterday. He's my age, an older guy, and he made a really good point. And that is, University of Texas, as big of a state as Texas is, and as big of a sport as football is, and as good of football, high school football players as we get, there's no excuse for Texas, now that they're in the SEC, not getting the cream of the crop from Texas high school football players moving forward recruiting-wise, which will just help them get better and better and better and better. Don't you agree, guys?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Colorado, I'm going to answer that question in a minute about Texas, but Colorado, and to J-Dub's point, there's always a chance for an organization to get better. And like I say, the landscape is built. Dion has built a great framework around their school. But I think with his hype and with what he's trying to bring about we ain't coming, we here, and all the stuff he's bringing and it seems to be more so about Shador and the other kid. I forget his name.
Yeah.
Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
And so he's trying to really push those and push him forward. That's what I think other players are maybe so much worried about by going to Colorado, especially this year. Now, maybe after Shador leaves and Travis leave, then we're going to see what type of program Deion will build. Then maybe they want to come there, because right now trying to live under those two shadows is going to be hard for any player. But obviously, you're going to have some type of people. You're going to have some kids who want to come to your school. I thought Warren Sapp was a good addition as a consultant to them, but I don't know what he'll be like as a coach. I think he still got a little of I think he still wants to play football. I think there's you need to calm down a little bit and really see it from a young man's perspective, not go try to live out your Hall of Fame days through these kids. I think that's a little bit much. But Texas does not do well, for whatever reason, recruiting Texas players, Texas high school players, especially those kids like, you know what I'm saying, Denton County, Collin County, you know what I'm saying, definitely Dallas County. They don't do well with a lot of those. Now, they'll get like the southern counties like down there in Austin and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying, Travis County, all that in there, but the North Texas side, they don't do well. Anybody know why?
Yeah. So, well, a couple things. I mean,
nobody wants to live in Austin.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, he totally said that out loud. I love it. But
I mean,
you know,
we're losing them to Oklahoma. We're not even losing them to A&M. We're losing them to Oklahoma.
Exactly. But exactly.
But it's going to help Texas now that they're in the SEC. Secondly, and I'm partial, but for me, I'm partial. The best Texas high school football players come out of the DFW Metroplex.
From Duncanville, baby.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
And DeSoto. And those kids, they want to go play at Alabama. And they want to go play at Ohio State. And they want to go play at Michigan. They want to go places where they think they have a chance to, A, play for a national championship, and B, maybe play at the next level.
Yeah.
Have exposure, get out of
We'll
their
see.
Backyard.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah.
All right, y'all heard it. It's 6:34, man. We're halfway through the show, man, and we're about to do it. We're about to do it. We're going to do it. We're going to spend the rest of the show talking about.
Y'all better tie JW down to his chair, man.
NFL
y'all better tie him down.
You.
I didn't get to see
as much as I wanted to.
So we got you covered. So real quick, we just want to throw some maybe a 5-minute talk about this situation with Tyreek Hill versus the Miami-Dade Police Department. What you got for us, D-Way?
Wow. You know, I really try to give law enforcement as much grace as possible, because they have a hard job and they're underpaid and yada, 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 yada. And but that stunt that those guys pulled in Miami Sunday morning-ish, and the way they treated the cheetah.
Too much.
I was so disappointed in how that deal went down. People could say, well, you're just saying that because he's a professional athlete. If that had been Joe Schmo Blow, that was a nobody, and I lost you on the screen, Eric.
Oh, that's on purpose?
Yeah. If it had been just anybody and they still would have showed the little bit that I saw, I would have been like, really? Are you serious right now? Now, I'm not going to take J-Dub's thunder from him, but I will say this. Did Tyreek, did he handle that perfectly? No, he didn't. Could he have done some things a little bit differently? Yeah. But he, in no shape, form, or fashion, did he do anything that would warrant or merit that type of behavior from the Miami Police Department. And I certainly hope some heads roll and are gone as a result of that. I'm going to be quiet now and let everybody else chime in.
Bruce said that he said Hill could have handled it better, but by the way, they were out of line also. He said Hill was the one speeding. What you got for us, J-Dub?
Brother, it was too much. And I mean, I've had my own share of these type of things, and it was sad more than anything. It was I'm gonna say it again, it was too much. He was a little dismissive, and in my personal experience, when you're more dismissive, you get more attitude of people trying to assert their dominance and all that kind of good stuff. But at the same time, he didn't do anything. He wanted his citation. He knew he didn't have a seatbelt on. I think that was man, I don't even know how to say it really clearly, but it was people who were at work saw somebody who was having a good Sunday morning, and they didn't know who he was, and they didn't have a seatbelt on, and the person who ended up being was a little not rude to them. He wasn't rude in any way, shape, or form, but he was dismissive. He wanted to get the incident over as quickly as possible and move on. And so the individuals who had him there took it as a sign of disrespect to a degree, and they wanted to make sure they flexed their respect on him. And all of a sudden now, over a simple traffic violation, you got a man on the ground in handcuffs over nothing. Like, there was no reason for it, but at the same time, I guess that's more of a sign of where we are. The times when I'm in a similar, I'm not a rich professional athlete in a supercar, but still, the times I'm in a similar situation with somebody who's pulled me over, seems like that the easier way to get it over with and to move on about my day is to just have to be as accommodating to them as possible, even though that goes against everything that in my soul we should be. They should be accommodating to us, but that's not how we are right now. So
right.
He was dismissive. They were out of line. Those are two separate statements, right? They did too much. They weren't out of line until they they put their hands on him and all that nonsense, yada yada yada. They can be rude to my window, but when you get rude to my body, that's a different story.
Right. Bruce says you can't roll up the window. That's a sign of danger to the cops. I definitely agree with that, being a concealed carry person, because they don't know what's going on in the car. He said, but they didn't need to drag him and put him on the ground the way they did. That was completely aggressive, Yeah, that was. My opinion is this. I mean, you guys hit all the right buttons. I just want to say the lesson learned. Number one, what should have happened, the way things are supposed to work in a normal society, is that the cops pull you over. They're called peacemakers for a reason. They approach you with peace in mind. They ask you, well, do you know where we pulled you over? Regardless of what the individual said, the individual should comply. Say, you know what? I don't know. If they do know, say, yes, I was speeding or whatever. You go ahead and do the particulars, license, registration. You go back, make sure there's no outstanding warrants. Come back, give a citation, and then let the courts take over from there. That should have been the right way to handle the situation. But now you got Tyreek Hill. Clearly speeding. The report said he was doing 100 miles an hour. The video, was not true. I don't think he was going that fast. 100 miles an hour, probably going maybe by 80, something like that, in that speed zone. But anyway, he was speeding in a sports car. He gets pulled over. Now he's aggravated because he's Tyreek Hill. And like you said, I love the word you use, dismissive. He's very dismissive, but he gave him his license right away. And from my understanding, he was on the phone immediately as soon as he got pulled over. He was on the phone with team security,
as he should be.
Right, letting them know this is a situation, because as he got pulled on the phone, he said, "Hey man, they're about to arrest me." And that's what Calais Campbell said also, that he was on the phone with team security. So I think that's kind of how that situation went. But the cops should have been peaceful, but it didn't. In today's world, you got egos, and this is a problem. Tyreek is a superstar athlete, millionaire. He got ego. You got the cops who have their authority. They got egos. And so you got all this entitlement, empowerment, all come down to one head. And it was just too much energy for that moment. And then this is what you get, an explosion. Thank God nobody got hurt.
There's three of us. Show of hands. Did the cops know that was a football player, or did they just think it was somebody with money?
No, one of the cops, the one that had the body cam, he said, "Oh, that's Tyreek Hill."
Even before they got to the door? I mean,
No.
you're pulling him over. As
You're pulling over this supercar.
No. They didn't know it was Tyreek Hill at that moment.
Okay.
All right, but once they got him out of the car, I think before he approached the car, they had the video because he was on the motorcycle and they was approaching the car. Well, and when he originally rolled down the window and he told him, "Don't be hitting on my window." One of the cops camera picked up and said, "Hey, that's Tyreek Hill," and I think that's when the other cop came in because the original cop who pulled him over and had to tap on his window. I don't know if he recognized him, but the other cop that came assisted, he was informed that was Tyreek Hill, and that's when he came over into the situation.
I want to know
If the person who initiated the stop with the lights knew that was an NFL star or just thought that was somebody with money. That's my biggest question in this whole ordeal.
Because everybody in Miami got supercar. That's what I'm trying to trip.
Right, that's what I'm saying. That's
He doesn't live in Denver. He doesn't live in Great Falls, Montana. You know what I'm saying?
So he probably thought he was a drug dealer or something, trying to get to the keys or something. I don't know.
Right.
Bruce said he was calling his agent Drew Rosenhaus. Good research, Bruce, on that. So that's what he was calling. Calais said they were trying to call the team security.
Yeah.
But that's another situation. When Jonnu Smith pulls up, the cop was threatening to arrest him if he didn't show his license. It didn't actually handcuff Calais Campbell. So at that point, you can say Tyreek was at fault, but then threatening Jonnu Smith and then actually handcuffing Calais Campbell, that definitely was excessive because these guys they've been around social media, they've been around the world, they know how it is with situations, how things can go bad, and as a police officer, they should be trained for situations like that. Somebody's gonna have to police you while you police somebody else, and that's just the way it is for law enforcement going forward. We're going to police you while you police somebody else. That's just how it's going to have to happen, whether you like it or not.
Yeah. Then EC, lastly, but you also have to wonder. Big fan of Tyreek Hill. Have been even when he was with Kansas City. If Tyreek would have just been real chill and quote unquote respectful, that thing may have went real quick and probably would have went real quick and real smooth.
But it didn't. But it didn't.
I'm just saying. I mean, so everybody could handle that a little bit better. All parties involved.
Facts. Let's move on to some NFL news. Listen, I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to kind of do some top performers from the running backs, wide receivers, and quarterbacks. So right now, let's start with the running backs real quick. First of all, before I do running backs, I'm going to ask you guys a question. Last year on the podcast, Josh Allen has been a fan favorite of mine. I mean, he's been a favorite of mine, fantasy football quarterback. Loved Josh Allen for the last couple of years, but last year I had made the decision to come on this show and declare that Josh Allen was overrated. I didn't want to. It was hard.
Easy.
So after his performance Sunday, do I owe Josh Allen an apology?
I don't think apology is the right
word. I think we need to pay more attention, maybe. That's a tough one, though. That's a good question.
There's nobody that drinks more Josh Allen Kool-Aid than D-Way. I do. I love the guy. I think he's a superstar. Last year played behind a very, very weak offensive line. I'm hoping that they've patched up some holes there. I'm hoping that Josh can get them more competitive. So again, it's early. And first week is always challenging and hard. Eagle Bruce and I talked about the Eagles game a couple of days ago, and he was the first one to say, it's first game, you got those first game issues, you got to work out. The majority of those starters haven't played full speed in the game for that long.
And they didn't come out and beat, a championship caliber team by 30 on their own field. They won by a touchdown. You know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah. Right. It was a 4 touchdowns for me, 2 passing, 2 rushing, didn't have great yards through the air. Obviously, the Buffalo Bills went to the running game, which they found success in that towards the end of the season last year, and they went with James Cook. But he's a winner. He's a winner,
no,
man.
He's a winner. He got the heart.
Who?
Right. He's got a heart. Josh Allen.
Oh,
he's a dog.
I want him on my team. I want him playing quarterback or middle linebacker. I mean, whatever we need out of him, on my team. So, yeah.
He said, Eagle Bruce said, like him or hate him, Josh Allen's the top 3 quarterback, hands down. Top 3? Ooh, I don't know.
I like it, Eagle Bruce.
Thinking about it.
Okay. Hey, let's do this. Top running back. So right now, out of running backs, we had Joe Mixon, number 1, 159 yards, 1 touchdown. Welcome back to the NFL. J.K. Dobbins, man, 135 yards, 1 touchdown. Lamar Jackson made the running back pool. That is so crazy. With 122 yards rushing. Ramondre Stevenson, 120 yards and 1 touchdown for New England Patriots. And then finally, Bruce, like this, Saquon Barkley, 109 yards, 2 touchdowns. Out of those top 5 running back performance, who do you think, got to pick one of those top 5, who would you declare was I think we're all agree on this, an overrated performance? I think this is clear, hands down. I think I know who was overrated performance. Out of Nixon, Dobbins, Lamar Jackson, Saquon.
Man,
and
I've already talked to J-Dub about this earlier in the week. We better hope that Lamar Jackson doesn't have to run that many times again, because he won't make it 3 weeks into the season,
I can't believe he ran that many times with King Henry behind him.
You got King Henry, and as good as these top 4 or 5 guys were, why didn't they give Derrick Henry the football? Why didn't they use that big bruiser more? I didn't get all that.
Did you watch that game?
It's the way they use them. It's the way they use them. And I don't like the way he tried. Yeah, we know you're the big 6'4", 200-some pound. I'm a 6'4", 200-pound guy. You just can't try to use brute force. You got to actually try to be a little elusive in your running game. And I know that's his style of just trying to run folks over. He got maybe 1 or 2 little breakouts past 5 yards. But other than that, I think they need to have a little more schemes for him.
But didn't have good chemistry with the line too on Sunday.
It's
his first game, right? But I watched that game in its entirety, and because I thought, Lamar and King Henry, I'm all in on the Ravens this year. But they didn't have any chemistry at all. It was just a sloppy offensive game. I know Lamar did what Lamar can do every game, but that's not what we want him to do any game.
Exactly. So I definitely give the overrated performance of Lamar Jackson. I mean, I don't by a long shot. Nobody wants to see their quarterback filling up the running back stats. Nobody wants to see that. I don't care how good of a quarterback you are. Let's see what Bruce Willis got to say. He said, "Don't make sense, Don't make sense to Jackson 19 times. It didn't use Henry. That's why he said, did you get him? Dobbins will venture. Oh God, dog."
So
J.K. Dobbins will eventually get hurt again.
here's a question for both you gentlemen. Is Joe Mixon is he the missing piece to take Houston to the next level?
Yes.
On the road. Yes, on the road, 30 carries. I mean, he could have easily had 200 yards if he misses a couple tackles. I think that was the game. I think that was the running back game of the week. Saquon Barkley is right there, neck and neck, playing for a rival team, against Green Bay. But I think Joe won the week for me.
Agree.
Yeah. He definitely won. He definitely won it for me. I'm trying to pull up something real quick because I want to, and I think Bruce appreciate this. Yes. So obviously with Joe Mixon being there, I love what he had. I didn't think Stephon would fit in. He let Collins and those guys get the long balls, but when it came down to the short yardage, he was doing what Stephon's doing this thing. So they got a complete team. So now Dameon Pierce, this is one thing that I love, and I love that the Eagles did. They put Kenneth Gainwell in more passing yard in the passing situation, and then let Saquon cook. I didn't know how they was going to figure that situation out because I thought Kenwell was their best back last year, but they decided to put him more in running. So if Houston can mirror that, I think that would be great. That's something that the Patriots does a lot of, or used to do a lot of, when they had their two running back situations. We saw New Orleans try to do that back in the day when they had those guys back there. But if they can put Dameon Pierce more, I know they've been rotating guys in and out, but if they can put him more in passing and let him do his thing and just let Mighty Joe cook, I think they'll be all right. Bruce said Nixon is still solid running back, but the See, but in the end, Texas can't compete with the Chiefs. God, Doug, that was dark.
That's true.
Dark.
No, I mean, he's just speaking facts.
Woo!
I don't think there's an AFC team that we can really talk about too much that can compete with the Chiefs right now.
You know
Until
what?
it
You're
happens,
right.
it ain't proved.
You're right. Because on this show, we don't deal with hypotheticals, so I cannot.
No.
So
I mean, the only team I was hopeful for, me personally, Uncle David can attest to it. I'm a huge Lamar Jackson fan. I was a King Henry fan with Tennessee, so I'm super a fan. I didn't care who won that game. I just wanted to see like a super good, slugfest, and that is not how the game played out at all.
Now, if you had, I don't know if you guys watched all the games. Is there one running back that didn't make the top 5 that you feel had an underrated performance?
Had an underrated or overrated?
Underrated performance. We know Lamar Jackson
for 49ers last night. The backup, what was his name?
That cat.
Yeah.
That cat.
I forget.
That cat went off last night.
How do you lose Christian McCaffrey and it really didn't even affect you?
You know what's so funny? Because I actually had this spilled out way before I watched the game last night.
Jordan Mason. I ain't even heard that name before. Yeah.
I thought about calling him out, but my problem with Jordan Mason right now is that what they're going to do when Christian McCaffrey come back. That's the scary part.
And I've been saying this for years about all sports. It's easy to be successful when you're surrounded by successful people, So all you got to do is come in and not do bad.
Yeah.
And I don't want to. Let's don't jump ahead because I want to talk about that game last night later on in the podcast if we have time.
Okay, cool. Oh, we got time.
We were just talking about running backs.
Yeah. So I actually, before I watched last night's game, I actually picked Kenneth Walker from Seattle. I thought he had a heck of a game the other night, man. I like what I seen out of him, man. What do you have? I think 100 and let's see here. He had 109 yards with 1 touchdown. I know it's not saying a lot, but I mean Seattle squeaked one out, and I thought the way they used him at the time they used him, I think he came up big in key plays of the game to help them get over that hump. Of course, Bob said he thought the alternative for Max and Macy was underrated performance. We'll get that. Let's get to the wide receivers on this list. Top wide receivers were Jaden Reed, 138 yards, 1 touchdown. Obviously, the cheetah, Tyreek Hill, 130. Alex Pierce, Indiana, 125. Jamison Wilson from Detroit, 121. And A.J. Brown from Philly, 119. I already know who Bruce got voted on.
I mean,
he already threw out there. A.J. Brown. He already
you get A.J. Brown with those stats with a bad Jalen Hurts quarterbacking. I mean, Jalen. I don't know what he's doing, but he's not the same Jalen I saw, a year and a half ago. Something's up. But my point of that is, what would have AJ's stats been if Jalen was if and when Jalen gets back on his game?
Right.
So because I'm a big Jalen fan,
I'm a big Jalen fan. I don't know what's going on with him since the middle of last season. Yeah. Maybe Bruce can explain it to me.
Yeah, Bruce, go ahead. Let us know what's going on with you got Jalen Hurts. I love Tyreek Hill's performance, obviously, because everything that transpired prior to the game.
Yeah, he wins the day. He's the winner of the day.
Obviously, man. And the way Calais said that he was sitting around, and he actually said he wasn't going to play. He said he was emotional. He stayed in the locker room by himself, getting his thoughts. He actually told the coaches he wasn't going to play. Heck, when he was on the ground, he was like, "Just take me to jail. I'm done." He said, "I'm done. Just take me to jail." He didn't care no more because his mind was somewhere else. Let's see what Bruce. He said a couple of bad throws. Hopefully, he'll eliminate those bad throws. And RPO was not working. Packers was ready for it. Okay, they still won today, but yeah, they was ready for that. And so will every other team, in my opinion, be ready for the RPO because that's what he does.
Yep.
But I think the overrated performance in this situation, and I had to pick one, I think it was Alec Pierce. The only reason being is because 3 of 3. Now, he took some great passes from Anthony Richardson, man. Great, and they lost that game, but it was a well-fought performance against Houston, man. Great performance. I don't take none from Alex Pierce, but 3 of 3. I mean, he was at the right place at the right time. I mean, if you're going to leave a guy on that offense uncovered, it's him, obviously. And then he just actually caught the ball. Now, the one he caught in the end zone was phenomenal, especially when Andrew Richards slipped down and kind of chunked it up there to him. But, I mean, I had to give it to him. When I say overrated for him, I'm only saying it's overrated because he wasn't involved in the game other than those 3 passes, so I'll give him that. Underrated performance goes to, in my opinion, Stephon Diggs and
Stephon Diggs
and my boy Mike Evans, man, over in Tampa Bakerfield. Oh my God. Mike Evans, man, didn't have a lot of yards. None of the guys didn't have a lot of yards. They didn't crack 100, man, but just being there for their team in key situations. Stephon was there for the Houstons, of course. I mean, no matter who Baker throw it to, one thing he know that Mike Evans is going to be his guy. And that was good to see in week 1 for those guys, those veteran guys, to come up in key plays. We didn't see that with the Cowboys. Yeah, number 88 got some touches here or there, but, I mean, it was obviously the kicking game that saved them on that one. Let's move on to the quarterbacks. Tua Tagovailoa runs the top with 338 yards, 1 touchdown. Matthew Stafford, 317, 1 touchdown, 1 INT. Patrick Mahomes, 291 yards with 1 touchdown and INT. Baker Mayfield, 289 yards, 4 touchdowns. Jalen Hurts, 278 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 NTs, 1 fumble. And the performance of the day goes to, and I have to give it to
Derek Carr. You forgot somebody.
He didn't make the top 5, but yes, he did show out. Oh my God! But they was playing that team.
Carolina.
They was playing that team.
You're still on a stage. I'm sorry. Go back. I apologize.
What did I say last week? EC. That's a bad high school JV team that they were playing last week.
That's right. You're right, but it doesn't matter. They still a professional football team. I'm sorry. Go back. Who won the day? Who won the day?
I would give it to Baker Mayfield. I think Baker Mayfield won today. He came out and did his thing. But back to the wide receivers. Bruce gave the underrated performance to his guy, Devontae Smith, for the Eagles. Underrated performance.
Okay.
And they hear crickets on that, but that's okay. Good job, Bruce, for rooting for
your
guy.
underrated performance was me. I know it was Thursday, and I know he's in a powerhouse system, but you a rookie and you scored 2 touchdowns on your opening day? That's a big moment.
Yeah, that kid, but it's hard to give unknowns because nobody's looking at you. Nobody cares. Right. And if, like I say, just like saying with Alec Pierce, and I forget the other guy name for Kansas City, he's a speedster. They say he's the fastest guy in the NFL. So I think Cheetah gonna have to say something like that. Right. But hey, what y'all think about Sam Darnold?
I thought he looked good.
I knew you were going to say that.
Sam Darnold looked like a professional football quarterback, which I know that sounds stupid, but in years past, he didn't look like that. He looked he looks like a seasoned guy, like a Kirk Cousins, like those middle of the pack guys who can run an offense. I thought he looked good. I watched every second of that football game too. Unfortunately, I was the only one that was on up here at the time.
I mean, he went I think 11 for 11 before he missed his first. I mean, he was cooking. And I would love to see. I mean, it's hard. I mean, he was getting some throws out there, but it's hard. Mr. JJ make everybody look good at this particular point. He makes everybody look good. That dude can catch anything that comes his way. And it's just so unfair for the rest of the league how good he is, man. And it's unfair to him that he has to play on that team. But I mean, he got his money, so he's committed at least for the next couple of years.
Yeah, and we talked about last week. We talked about some of the better top wide receivers, and I want to shout out to my Texas A&M boy Mike Evans. We didn't throw him in that bunch. He's a superstar elite wide receiver in the NFL.
Yeah,
with the rest of those other 3 or 4 guys we talked about last week.
Yeah.
So Mike's a superstar playing on not a really good team. They're okay. They're average. So, but yeah, and I thought that talking about quarterback performances. I mean, of course, I'm a big fan of this cat, but Matt Stafford, man, he just gets done. I mean, they lost, but he just makes plays every week quietly. Just quietly makes plays every week.
Well, when you let him throw the ball 50 times a game.
So,
speaking of which, let's talk about coaches' performances. I got to give a shout out to Gerard Mayo for the New England Patriots beating up on the Cincinnati Bengals, man. Gerard Mayo, first win as an NFL coach over the Bengals, who a lot of people expected them to actually make the Super Bowl this year. I don't know why, but that was a lot of people's prediction. But a good job, Coach Mayo, for coming out there and doing that thing, and the way he controlled the game. I mean, the running game where Ramondre Stevenson, man, was great. I mean, he coached his tail off. He really, really did. He really coached his tail off, man. And I got to give him all credit. Don't know how long this is going to last. Don't know how the success of the New England Patriots will be. But right now, he's going to let him have this week 1 win. And because you mentioned Matthew Stafford, we got to give the underrated performance out of coaches to Sean McVay running the 83 yards rushing with goddamn Kyron Williams back there. I don't understand it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's why you let Matthew Stafford throw 50 times a game.
Yeah.
I think this was a direct fear of Aiden Hutchinson. I think this was the fear of the Detroit linebackers. I believe that wholeheartedly. I know that's stretching. We don't deal with hypotheticals on the show, but I just kind of figured that's what was the idea. Watching Detroit in preseason, that goddamn defense from the one string to the third string, they're fast. They clicking on all cylinders, man. Once they gel up together, man, that team is hard to beat. And at some point, you got to say, you know what? Let's just throw the ball because we just don't want this guy to get hurt. Because especially with them linebackers they got there, man, they're off the chain, man. And Jack Campbell back there as a linebacker.
And I know we're running short on time here, but I really would like to talk about the game last night. The Jets and the 49ers. First of all, I thought it was, it kind of went like I thought it would, but I'm going to go on the podcast right now and make a statement. The San Francisco 49ers are going to win the Super Bowl this year. They're the best team in the NFL. They're the most talented team in the NFL. And I'm going to go as far as to say they might be the best coach team in the NFL. Okay. And so I'm going to leave it alone there. I thought Aaron Rodgers, for his first time back being off, almost over a year, I thought for his first game against that defense, that 49er defense they're sick, man. It's just sick how good they are.
Yeah.
And even though Aaron wasn't super sharp, if those guys can protect him and keep him healthy, because he made some throws that looked like very Aaronish, the old Aaron that I remember seeing. And so I want to hear y'all's take on A, how good you think the 49ers are, and B, what y'all think about Aaron's performance and what you think the Jets. I think that Jets team's they're going to make a lot of noise. The Jets are going to make the playoffs this year. So what do y'all think?
The Jets making the playoffs?
All of it. Everything I said.
What they playing the AFC?
You said a lot.
Yeah, they playing the AFC East. So you're looking at Buffalo, you're looking at Miami, you're looking at New England. So for him to make the playoffs, I think they're going to have to be the best division over in the AFC, and you still got that darn Baltimore division. So I don't know if they can make the playoffs. Unless we're looking at Buffalo not making it. I think Miami will be up there. So I don't know.
You just hurt my heart, man.
I know. That division looked pretty good, except for New England, of course, but they won against the Bengals. So,
the three things I wanted y'all to talk about, and Eric, you touched it, is how good do you think San Francisco is, and how do you think Aaron Rodgers will fare this year?
You know what?
I agree with John.
I'm answering it this way. This is what's wrong with the league. Old players need to retire. I like Aaron Rodgers, but after suffering that type of injury, man, you are wasting a spot for somebody else younger to get in.
Yep. He's trying to prove something. He's trying to prove he can come back. That's the whole point of it. But
you can't.
No, you can't. He'll never be what he was, and not
at that age.
he only threw 20 times last night. I hope I'm wrong. I used to root for him as a Green Bay Packer fan. I don't have any skin in the game with him personally, but I don't think the Jets make the playoffs. I hope I'm wrong. I would like to see some storybook writing of this guy coming back from an injury and leading his team to the promised land, but I don't see it. So since I don't see it, obviously San Francisco's, if they're not the best team in the NFC, they're one of the top 2 or 3 teams in the NFC. They probably are the best team. But so for San Francisco to beat up on you, and I don't know how to judge San Francisco based on how the Jets played. And I talked to Uncle Dave about this earlier. I didn't get to see every single play, but I watched the majority of the game, and I wasn't impressed with the Jets at all. So then that starts factoring in how much did San Francisco really dominate a bad team with a coming back from injury old quarterback.
Right. So listen,
a lot to be said.
Bob said that the Jets defense looked really bad. Not sure about the playoffs. Rodgers did drop some dimes, but seemed to fizzle out there in the second half. So San Francisco looked really good. Not sure about Super Bowl champs. Need to stay healthy. I agree with Bob on that. I like San Francisco, but I actually got the Rams winning that division. Call me crazy. I'm stirring up this thing. I'm sorry.
Well, it didn't start out good for you.
I know they lost the first game, but I just think that they're going to win that division. Because the way that game was very, very boring to watch. For a while. And I just think when you get down to that particular point in the second half, like I say, Jets didn't have anything. And at that point, got dogged from the 49ers organization. You just got to go out there and just continue to do what you got to do, and they got some chance to get in there. Felix said San Fran has the best O-line in football. I do agree with that. I agree with that 100,000%. They're a tough O-line, but that just makes Brock Purdy look better than what he really is supposed to be. So I'm gonna leave that alone because I'm not sold out on Brock Purdy yet. I want to be sold out on, but I'm just not right now.
Okay, so EC, gun to your head. Who's in the Super Bowl? 2 teams. Nothing. Just give me name 2 teams. That's all I want to hear.
I got to think about it because
is this who we're rooting for?
No. Who you think's gonna be in the Super Bowl? Gun to your head. No side notes. I'll go first. San Francisco, Kansas. A rematch.
The easiest thing you could say. Minnesota, Kansas City.
Oh, I'm going with Detroit and Kansas City.
I almost said Detroit. Whoever comes out of the north.
Detroit stand for defense. I love
whoever comes out of the north. Whoever comes out of the north. That's right.
Yeah.
Now Bob's going to throw Green Bay in there at you, so be careful. Don't get him fired up.
Oh, Bruce said even though Kelsey retirement, Eagles still have the best O-line in football. He is snapped back.
Boo! No way, the Boo Birds. No way. No way.
Bruce
Homerisms at home.
Oh, yeah, Bruce said Eagles Chief rematch and Eagles win.
Oh God!
You're
talking about a home. You talking about a homie. So that's awesome.
G said the 49ers and the Chiefs are
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, G, I like that. Y'all, let's on the last bit of homework today. Let's get to none other than boom.
You just couldn't stand it. You couldn't stand it. You couldn't stand it.
We got to talk about the Cowboys.
Go there.
Let's first of all congratulate Dak Prescott for finally getting his money. I don't know what type of soap opera situation they got going on in Frisco with all this situation with the Cowboys, CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott, all this stuff. I mean, basically with him waiting, he gave Dak more money than he would have to, which means led me to believe this is what he wanted to do all along, but he wanted to get all the fanfare and try to capitalize on whatever media advantage that he has to keep the Cowboys relevant in the postseason, because it just don't make that much sense to when he could have signed that way back at the end of the season. He would have came out a whole lot less. So his mind was already made up to make him the highest paid, because that gives another narrative to the Cowboys. Now they have the highest paid quarterback in league history. So that is crazy.
Jerry Jones.
He ain't hurting. So that was easy money for him.
Bob said he has the Packers winning that division. He said, but Detroit looks good. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I can't say that he's way overpaid because they're all way overpaid. So, and I'm kind of that. We talked about last week, EC.
Yeah.
Hey, if you can get it, baby. I'm all
Get your
for
money.
you, man.
Yeah, get your money. I ain't mad at it, man. But I just loved it. I just hate all the energy surrounding stuff like that. But obviously, they knew what they was doing. Obviously, his Patrick Mahomes theory came to play. That was a little analogy that Jerry uses. Bruce said Cowboys have not been relevant in past seasons since you were a kid. Yeah, no. Now he talking about when I was a kid or since you was a kid.
Me probably. So
I was a kid.
Talking about the Cowboys, that's all I'm going to say. Now hear you guys. Dallas looked better than I expected him to look, and Cleveland looked a whole lot worse than I expected them to look. So, so I don't know. I don't know what. I don't think Dallas is that good yet, but apparently Cleveland's bad. So
I'm gonna give my real quick rant, and I'm gonna let you guys take over. This is what I want to say about the Dallas Cowboys, and I said this yesterday in with some friends of mine. Let's start with the Cleveland Cavaliers. They turn around and say, "Oh, well, they got 2 bad tackles for the Cleveland Cavaliers." The Cleveland Browns. Cleveland Browns got 2 bad tackles. We know this. Deshaun Watson haven't played football in over a year. You got that. The fact that you don't have Nick Chubb, you got that. These were the excuses they said is the reason why Dallas Cowboys won. And when asked on First Take, was this a staple win for the Cowboys? And most of the panelists said no because of those reasons, right?
Exactly. I agree.
But here's my problem with that whole statement. The fact that Deshaun Watson haven't played in a year and a half, the fact they have 2 bad left tackles, the fact that Nick Chubb did not play and still dealing with injury, they knew this prior to the game, and they still picked the Cleveland Browns in that game. I think they had a 4-point spread for the Cleveland Browns.
That was nuts.
So how we not say it's a staple win with all those issues that Cleveland had that they knew prior to this game, and Dallas still winning? Dallas didn't look afraid. I mean, God dog, well, they should be getting ready for this game that they're projected to be the underdog in. They sitting around giving out money.
Yep. Yeah, that's right.
They had to bank instead of worrying about the damn football game. They didn't look not one bit of scared. They came in and they managed the game the way they managed the game. They got a lot out of Brandon, out of Aubrey. 5 field goals, man? No, 4 field goals. I think he got out of that game, 3 or 4. I mean, and could have had one more if goddamn Mike McCartney would have done the right thing and called the timeout. But they managed the game. They managed the game well. It wasn't sexy, but at the end of the day, they won the game. And so, I mean, it was more exciting watching them play than the 49ers, and the score was almost pretty much the same.
I agree with that statement.
He said, Bob said he agreed Cleveland looked really, really bad.
Miles Garrett didn't look good. Jordan Hicks didn't look good. The whole defense. That's Cleveland's identity, and that's why I started, trying to be more into Cleveland the last 2 seasons, but the defense looked terrible. I mean, I'm sitting here. I didn't realize. I watched the whole damn game. I didn't realize. I'm sorry. I didn't realize
you good.
That the time of possession was pretty much the same. Cleveland had 10 more plays than Dallas. They had the exact same amount of first downs. So that's just a team who can't complete the mission, and a defense, if that's your identity. I was disappointed in the Cleveland defense more than anything else. Not to say that Dallas shouldn't still beat a good Cleveland defense, but it shouldn't be 33-17.
And that was a big argument I kept fighting with people. Everybody kept saying, because and we was here last week when we did our pick'ems, and I went on another show and we did our pick'ems, and they kept saying the Cleveland defense, and I kept trying to explain to them who. Miles Garrett is one guy. There's 10 other guys that show up on the defense. Who else? And so, and the Cowboys did what they're supposed to do. Yes, they rookie was getting beat by Miles Garrett, but look at the lack of fear that Cowboys had to Cleveland Browns. They put their rookie lined up with Miles Garrett by himself. That's how unafraid they were of the Cleveland defense.
It's crazy.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
And I know Cleveland's defense wasn't very good, but I was quote unquote pleasantly surprised at how hard Ezekiel Elliott ran and how
he ran hard. He tried hard.
He runs downhill, and hey, if they can keep him healthy, I think he'll give them some production, so which will be good if they can keep him healthy. But I mean, that was a pleasant surprise to see him look that good. But again, that Browns defense, I didn't get it.
The Cowboys, man. I mean, Trayvon Diggs, man, just picked right back up where he left off, get an interception. It was like the sweetest poetic justice. Been out hurt, Bland goes out hurt, he come right back in and just gets in. It's like that's type of stuff that you just can't script that. You can't make that type of stuff up. It was a good job to see him get back into that INT column, man. I love that for him. Felix had to throw some shade. I think he's throwing this to Eagle Bruce. Said Danny Dimes was terrible in New York, because they paid him all the money and did not pay Saquon. So now Saquon is over with the Eagles. So I don't know. That may be actually a good thing for Bruce over Eagle Bruce, that they got Saquon from the New York Giants.
I'm going to give Jonathan G a little love here. He said the Browns defense is still good, but Dallas ate on them.
They did 8 on. I'm not a believer in that Brown defense. I never has been. The reason why I say that, because to be a good defense, there's more to just having a good linebacker or a good defensive end or some great, defensive backs. It has to be about the type of scheme that you run. We've seen the days when who was a little star running a cornerback that kept getting shifted all over the league. He used to play with the Browns. I forget his name, but y'all know who I'm talking about. I think he went over to the Rams, but he's a journeyman, and he could never. I can't think of his name. But he'd been on multiple teams, but he couldn't get it done by himself, and so because he was always the best defender on that squad, I'll think of his name in a minute. But I just don't. You have to have a good D scheme. And when you look at the Detroit Lions, when you look at the fact that obviously Aiden Hutchins and Jack Campbell are their 2 dogs in the linebacker core, but in this game that they played Sunday, I mean, those cornerbacks was doing their thing. They're not known cornerbacks, but they will be before the end of the season. You know what I'm saying? Their defense backs, because that squad is awesome. So that's what I look at. I mean, Myles Garrett has been good for so long. Even some people said that the Rams won't be as good as the defensive team as they were because Donald left. God, what's his name?
Aaron Donald.
Because Aaron Donald left. Well, look at them. They still look pretty good as a defense core over there. So, I mean, Lions not winning anything with Campbell as head. God, dog, wait a minute.
That's from Eagle Bruce.
Early.
Yeah, you already know.
He's hating on Coach Campbell.
He said he would never get the Super Bowl. That's all right. All comments are welcome here on the FairWeather Fan channel. We're not mad at Eagle Bruce, but we will silence your combo if you keep comments, if you keep messing with Dan Campbell. Because the D in Detroit stand for Dan Campbell. I'm sorry.
That's awesome.
Man, we come to the end of the show, man. I appreciate you guys for coming on, man. I appreciate Bruce, man. I appreciate Felix, J-Dub, Bob came in. We had a little appearance for the Rev. He came on in, man. We appreciate you guys, man. Are there any final words anybody guys want to throw out there before we sign off on today's FairWeather Fan podcast?
Looking forward to the upcoming week. The Saints come into town to play America's team, so that should be an interesting matchup, for sure. So. Who else? Anybody got anything else before you shut it down?
It's early. It's early in the season. It's the best time in sports. Baseball's coming to an end. Football started. Basketball's preseason finna start. Y'all finna have a lot to talk about on a day-to-day basis. So, I mean, it's early, and I just like that the conversations have already gotten heated. Not heated, but they're warming up. The conversations are warming up.
All right, then, man, listen, man, I just thank you guys for tuning in. FairWeather Fan Podcast, man. Join us on Tuesday. You can catch us on Facebook, YouTube, and also definitely go and check out the YouTube channel. You can catch us on Spotify, but go and check out the YouTube channel, man. I got some funny little commercials I've been throwing up. I got another one I'm editing right now. We're going to do the AFC East right now, so it's funny. Bruce got his last words in. He said, go Phillies, go Birds, and go PSU. All things Philly. Bruce, you got to get on here and sing the Eagles fight song. Position
gosh.
Here. Fly,
Please.
Eagles, fly.
I want to hear the Christmas
to victory.
Oh, gosh.
They was playing that song in San Paulo, and nobody knew what it was. I'm like, y'all don't know the Eagles fight song? Come on now.
EC, hey, great segment, great show tonight. I appreciate you, man. It's awesome.
Man,
appreciate you having me.
Yes, sir, man. I appreciate you guys, man. Y'all listen. This has been the FairWeather Fan Podcast, man. We appreciate all you guys for joining in, all those who came in live, who came in and the watchers in the background, man. Please, once again, like, subscribe, share, leave comments, join the conversation, man, and we are out.